It is now 5:30. Welcome to the Butte-Silver Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting. Let me take some time to introduce the board here. To my left, we got Mr. Garrett Craig, we've got Ms. Shanna Adams, Stephen Coe, and we got Brian Higgins. Brian, put your phone down. We're in a meeting. And I'm Tyler Schaefer. I'm not a chairman. I don't want to be a chairman. I'm just forced into this tonight. So I apologize to everybody. Most of the staff needs no introduction, but we do have a fresh face here tonight. Her name's Miss Becky Roll, and she is the new admin for the planning department. And we've all been hearing great things about her. Just really excited for the future of the planning department. With that being said, I would like to just jump into the meeting. We're here tonight for special use permit 24-10, which is an application to place a townhouse complex in an R1 single family residence zone. Does the staff have a report?
We do, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
The presentation tonight is for a townhome to be placed on a to-be-determined Stewart Street, which is right across from East Middle School. The applicants are To Be Holding LLC, Browns and Associates, Chad Ball. And the proposal is a boundary relocation and aggregation of lots, making 3 non-conforming lots into 2 more conforming lots to place a townhouse on 2 5,200 square foot lots, varying from the 6,000 square foot lot requirement in the R1 zone. Townhouses are considered single-family dwellings, and each townhouse unit must be located on a lot that conforms to the minimum lot size requirement of the R1 zone. Staff findings. Section 1738-255, Townhouse Complexes of the BSB MC states that townhouse complexes may be allowed in certain residential zones by special use permit, provided that in the R1, R2, and R4 zones, no more than 2 single-family units may be constructed using a common wall. Proposed structures having 2 or more dwelling units are allowed in the R3 zones upon findings by the Board of Adjustments that the location and development of the property will harmonize with the existing development, and that said use will not be detrimental to the surrounding properties. To provide the board with information about the proposed conditional use, the applicants and planning staff have responded to the established 20 questions outlined herein. So this property is located in the R1. Outlined in the red are this is one of the properties, and then this is 2 of the properties, and this is the 3rd. Here's more detail. The outline with the red is the new property lines. That property line would be moved here. And then the yellow is the property line that would be, the property lines that would be aggregated into the 2 properties instead of 3. The location and character of the property and surrounding buildings. The property in question is made up of 3 lots, lots 31 through 33, and the property is flat and undeveloped with an alley directly to the north and a single-family residence to the south. The 3 lots combined are 10,454 square feet in size. The property is located in an area containing mostly single-family residential, but is also surrounded by a mix of uses, such as a middle school, track and field stadium directly across Stewart Street to the east, and some multifamily housing to the north. Here's another diagram of the existing property. Here's the East Middle School track and field. And then up in the northern section on the other side of Argyle are some multifamily housing. Substantial changes in land use and conformity with the neighborhood plan. There have been no significant land use changes in the immediate area since the original adoption of the zoning ordinance in 1978. Although in August of 2021, directly to the northeast of East Middle School, A zone change did take place, changing from an R1 single-family and R2 two-family residential zone to an R3 multifamily zone. The use conforms to objectives of the comprehensive plan and purpose of the ordinance. The comprehensive plan place type designation for this property is traditional neighborhood place type. While the traditional neighborhood place type is primarily single-family residential housing, the traditional neighborhood also provides the opportunity for higher density housing and proximity to local services such as parks and schools. Proposed fencing, screening, and landscaping. The property is currently a vacant lot, but the applicant states that fencing, screening, and landscaping will be installed to fit the surrounding neighborhood. The planning staff does not foresee this proposed use as having any impact on the drainage and stormwater runoff from the site, and the applicant states that landscaping and sod will have a slight slope away from the structures. The proposed lighting and signs. Lighting should be installed typical of a residential neighborhood and in compliance with BSB's regulations, and the applicant does not specify an intent to add any signage at this time. All potential nuisances. So long as the occupancy of the residence is in conformance with the residential building code, constructing a single-family residence or a townhome complex on these lots should not considerably increase traffic, as potential traffic should not be more than that of a typical family. Staff can foresee no other potential nuisances at this time. Proposed vehicle access, circulation, and parking. Vehicle access to and from the property is acceptable for the proposed use. The access to the front of the residence will be provided via Stewart Street on the front of the structures. There are no existing sidewalk, curb, or gutters located on the west side of Stewart Street. Therefore, handicap accessibility may be a concern, and staff recommends that the applicant comply with the IBC 2021 building code regulations regarding requirements for ADA accessibility. Proposed use will not adversely affect nearby properties or their occupants. The development of the property as a townhouse complex complies with single-family residence zone. Townhouse complexes are allowed in certain residential zones by special use, provided that in the R1, R2, and R4 zones, no more than 2 single-family units be constructed using a common wall. Staff does believe that this project should have a minimal impact on the nearby properties, as the definition of a townhouse means single-family dwelling unit attached to one or more other single-family dwelling units. This project will be 2 units. Compatibility of the proposed project with the existing adjacent building structures, neighborhood, topography, or other considerations. The proposed project to add a 1-story townhouse with each unit located on a 5,200 square foot lot is compatible with existing surrounding uses or buildings. While some nearby homes are on standard size lots, many are legal non-conforming lots. The multifamily homes that are located nearby and are also located on lots that do not meet the lot requirements. Staff believes that the townhouse complex would be compatible with the character of the surrounding neighborhood. Conditions of approval. Staff recommends the following conditions of approval. The applicant will be required to obtain all building and zoning permits prior to construction of the townhouse complex. The property address must be visible, including past dark, and entrance must be clearly identified. The applicant shall be required to meet all Butte-Silver building and fire department regulations. In conclusion, based on the information provided in the application, staff's analysis of the review criteria, and any public opinion as it relates to the criteria, the board must determine if the applicant has presented evidence to the satisfaction of the board that said undue detriment will not result from the granting of a special use permit for the proposed townhouse complex located in the R1 or single-family residential zone. Should the board decide that the proposed location is compatible with the proposed use, conditions of approval should be considered. Section 1738-160, Special or Conditional Use Permit. Decisions of the board require staff to refer the application to the board within 15 days of the receipt of the application and all requested information. The board shall within 60 days deny the application and give reason for the denial in writing to the applicant, or approve the application, and zoning officer shall issue a zoning compliance permit with conditions specified therein. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. The applicant now has an opportunity to step forward and add anything they might like to the report, or give us any additional information they feel might be worthy.
Thank you, Chairman, or sit-in Chairman for the night, and members of the board. Thank you for hearing this proposed development. Joella laid it out perfectly. I mean, it's we're not trying to do anything here too out of the ordinary. I will say that, speaking for the developer, that it is in the spirit of affordable housing. This is a Matt Nisler project. He's created plenty of housing around the city, as you guys know. His idea, or his goal, as discussed with him throughout this project, has been to, if he can construct 2 single-family homes at an affordable rate and pass that savings on to the consumer, that's the goal at this point. And this is somewhat of a pilot project for him too, knowing that there is a shortage of affordable housing in town. So I just wanted to say that. Other than that, Joella explained our plans well. I could take questions too, or
Mr. Ball, I probably just have to have you identify yourself with your address, just for the record. But
sure. Chad Ball, Brown and Associates, 1701 Cobbin Street.
Thank you, sir. Does anyone on the board have any questions of the applicant or agent? Hearing none. Okay. Is there anybody in the crowd that would care to speak in support of this application? Crickets. Okay. Is there anybody in the crowd who would care to speak against this application?
I'm a concerned neighbor.
Okay.
I live on,
Ma'am, could you please step forward just so we can get you on the record, please?
Thomas Avenue.
Okay, could you please give us your name too, please?
Carol Lucine.
Okay.
Son is in the back.
Yeah, that's annoying.
All right, anyway, I've lived in the area right on Thomas since 1986. And I have talked to my other neighbors, and we're all concerned about how many residents are going to be moving in and on that lot down there, because we've seen what's happened in our neighborhood area, where once they get a foothold going, then all these townhouses or all these condos go up and wipe out the whole area. So that's what our concerns are about.
Thank you, Ms. Lucine. The applicant or agent now has an opportunity to rebut the neighbor.
Sure. Understanding her complaint, for sure, these are lots of record that can have single-family homes built on them today, if a building permit is granted. So we're not creating any lots here. We're not creating a subdivision. It's just a proposed townhome. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, now that we've gone through that, it is now time for board discussion. Any board members have any questions, comments, anything?
I'll say something. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot of issue with this, in part because it matches the comp plan, and our zoning ordinance is being updated right now, and matching the comp plan is the appropriate way to move forward on these types of things when we don't have an updated zoning. So with that, and that it meets the character of the neighborhood with other multifamily homes just a block away, I don't see a lot of issue with this.
Mr. Coe, I tend to agree with you. I do feel fairly confident these are single-family homes that shouldn't or possibly couldn't expand into more apartment-type complexes. I understand what Ms. Lucine's concern is, because that neighborhood is changed drastically in a few years. And I do understand that's concerning when you've lived there that long. I do feel confident that this is, the way this is proposed tonight, as Mr. Ball stated, we can build single-family homes here. We are just basically building 2 of those in 1 unit. So I am okay with it that way. That's just my opinion, but I would like to hear from other people if we have an opinion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would tend to agree that, yeah, it's not an expensive subdivision, you know, where, you know, traffic and congestion and other things of that nature could be a concern. So I would agree with Mr. Coe's comments about how it does comply with the character and nature of the neighborhood. So I don't have any hesitation with it either.
Thank you, Mr. Gregg. Okay, we have no further comments. I think we could be at a place where we could take a vote. Oh, yeah, we probably need some motions, yeah.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve special use permit 2410.
I would second that motion, Mr. Chairman, with the conditions as outlined by the staff. If
Acceptable.
Mr. Coe was.
We have a motion by Mr. Coe, seconded by Mr. Craig, so we can now vote. Thanks, guys. Just going to take a second here to tally these votes. Okay, we have 5 votes in favor of the motion, which means it will pass tonight. Ms. Lushane, as a concerned neighbor, I just want to let you know that you do have 30 days to file an appeal of our decision in district court, if you so choose. And the 30 days, I believe, starts tomorrow. So thank you. One other item of business that I did not get to was we need to approve minutes from our last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, at the subsequent planning board or zoning board of adjustment meeting, we will be bringing several versions of minutes, and I don't mean versions, I mean minutes from the past meetings that are all in arrears on a rolling basis until we get them all approved and compatible so that we can file those.
Sounds fair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Director. Do we have any further business? Hearing nothing. Okay. Well, at this point, I would just like to adjourn, and I do want to do this. Oh, a motion to adjourn. Approved. Thank you.